Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the brand Color Infinity. I have a few different things to show you today. I'm going to be starting with the Conversation Hearts Trio. These are a few pastel creams. Actually, they're more like pastel neons. Cream polishes. Next, we're going to move on to the January Nail Party Polish that was made for January birthdays. And then we will finish off with the Vampy Winter Quad Collection. So these will release January 26th at 10 a.m. and they will only be available up until February 5th. These will release for $5 a piece and they are 8.5 milliliter bottles. They are a little bit, I was mistaken in my last video, they are bigger than the Zoya Minis, but they are not full size to a normal polish. A normal polish holds typically 15 milliliters and these hold 8.5 milliliters. So $5 is a really great price for a bottle this size. In the description box below, I will link the Color Infinity site as well as their Instagram page, and I will also link my Instagram page where I will have more swatches of all 8 of these polishes. And there's something that I'm just noticing about this January polish. I got an email that says this is available for free for anybody with a birthday in the month of January. You need to be signed up for the newsletter and have entered your birthday when you sign up. So if you want to get this for free and you have a birthday in the month of January, you need to sign up for the newsletter and make sure you enter your birthday correctly. And you should receive this one for free, which is fantastic. I think that's a beautiful thing to do. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start swatching all 8 of these polishes. So first we have Call Me, and this is kind of like I could only describe it as a pastel avocado, and it is a cream. Here's our first coat of Call Me. These creams have a really nice formula. They are a little bit on the thicker side, but they kind of stay right where you put it. It's not hard to use or anything, but I am going to forewarn you that I made a complete mess applying these. I had filmed this part of my video 4 times. And I was just over painting my nails at this point, so I didn't quite care where I got polish. Everything made a mess. So for these first 3, they're going to be a little bit messy, but just know that was me, not the polish. Anyway, this does cover completely in 2 coats. Depending on your application, 1 would be totally fine. These do dry down like to a velvety finish, not quite matte, but not quite glossy, so you will want a top coat. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have True Love, and this is a bright pastel neon Barbie pink cream polish. Here's our first coat of True Love, and this has the same formula as Call Me, where it is a little bit thick, but it's not that thick that it's difficult to manage. These also self-level really nicely, so it looks like it's applying a little bit patchy, but it will kind of help level itself out as it does dry. And I apologize for my disgusting cuticles at this point too, as you know I was over the swatching. So here is the second coat, and this one does cover for me completely in 2 coats, and I do think this is one that you would definitely need 2 coats for. The other 2 creams you may end up getting away with 1. Again, it dries to that like demi-matte finish, so you will want a nice glossy top coat to help this shine. So there's 2 coats. And finally for the trio we have Be Mine, and this is a pastel lavender cream polish. So here's our first coat of Be Mine, and I was trying to fix one of my few problems by applying cuticle oil to help with my dry skin, and it did kind of make the polish pool. Once again, that was my fault, not the polish's fault. Either way, it does cover completely and evenly here on just 1 coat. I am, for consistency purposes, going to go ahead and do a second coat, but like I said before, this is one that you could definitely use just 1 coat and be completely fine. So again, this will dry down just a little bit dull, so you will want a nice glossy top coat, and again, a nice easy to work with formula. So there's 2 coats. Up next we have January Nail Party, and this is to celebrate the January birthdays. This is a white Crelly base. It has blue shimmer, and it also has, I see, green, pink, and red micro glitter. This is our first coat of January Nail Party, and this one is very sheer here on this first coat. I am going to show you 3 coats today, but it doesn't completely cover the nail line. I actually did 4 coats for my swatch photo. So this is something that maybe you would want to layer over a white or a lighter color or a different base if nail line bothers you, or if you would prefer not to have 4 coats. Either way, this has a nice formula. It doesn't want to run or pull or anything like that. These are micro glitter, so it's going to dry just slightly textured. They're not too chunky, so it's not going to dry like crazy, but it's going to dry a little bit textured, and it is going to be a little bit difficult to remove, so just keep that in mind. So see, it covers about 95% here on 3 coats, but I can still see a little bit of nail line, so maybe work in thicker coats if that's something that bothers you. So there's 3 coats. Moving on to the Vampy Winter collection, first up we have Soul Search, and this is a blackened navy linear hollow with gold shimmer and UCC flakies. Here's our first coat of Sweet Seduction. This covers really well here on this first coat. Obviously it is a little bit sheer still, so I am going to go in for a second coat. This also has a fantastic formula. It doesn't want to run or pull. It's very easy to use. You actually get a ton of flakies out as well without having to do any fishing or anything crazy like that. So here's our second coat, and this one does cover completely in 2 coats. This one also looks really beautiful with a matte top coat, but you will want a glossy top coat because this does dry down dull. It doesn't dry textured, but it is just slightly difficult to remove. So there's 2 coats. Next up we have Sultry, and this is like a steel gray linear hollow, and it also has a blue shimmer. Here's our first coat of Sultry. Again, this covers really well here on this first coat. Obviously I can still see my nail line, so I am going to go in for a second coat. This has another fantastic formula. It doesn't want to run or pull. This didn't stain me either. I don't think anything in here notably had any kind of staining. So here's our second coat, and this does cover completely in 2 coats. This also dries decently glossy by itself, though again I would recommend a top coat just for longevity, and a top coat will also help bring out the holographic shimmer in here as well. Again, this wasn't difficult to remove. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Sweet Seduction, and this is your typical multi-chrome. This one does go from a purple to a blue, and that's the strongest shift, and then it goes to a green and gold in extreme angles. So here's our first coat of Soul Search. This actually covers really, really well here on this first coat for multi-chrome, and in my experience with multi-chromes, the more you have to build them up, the shiftier it will be. So the fact that this is very opaque would mean that, in my eyes anyway, that it wouldn't be very shifty, but I didn't have that issue. Obviously in this lighting you can see it as blue. As I was applying it, I made a note that I could see it as purple, so there's a shift. Again, this covers completely in 2 coats. I would recommend a top coat. I had no staining and I had no difficult removal process. So there's 2 coats. And then lastly for today we have Bad Girl, and this is an Oxblood jelly base, and it does have red and holographic micro glitter. Here's our first coat of Bad Girl. This has a really great formula. It is a jelly, so I am going to go ahead and build it up with 2 coats. I will say, depending on your application, you may end up needing 3 coats, but this does have a nice formula. It doesn't want to run or pull, very easy to use, doesn't stain, anything like that. The glitter distribution is really nice. I didn't have to do any fishing or anything, and everything distributed really evenly. So here's the second coat, and I am just going to go ahead and apply 2 coats today, but depending on your preference and application, a 3rd coat will deepen the color, and it'll also level out any kind of streaking. This also looks really beautiful with a matte top coat, and the glitter in here is going to dry a little bit textured, and it is going to be pretty difficult to remove. So there's 2 coats. Guys, I have a really hard time picking a favorite out of these. I really like True Love, the pastel neon pink cream, but I also really thoroughly enjoyed Soul Search. So these 2 are my favorites. They're beautiful. They're not anywhere close to each other, but I really, really enjoy both of them. And that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up, and let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time. Bye.